I freaking love this book by J.L. Collins called A Simple Path to Wealth. And he got a great quote in there that says, choose the least you need, not the most you can afford. So that's what I'm talking about today. I'm Tony, a single dad of two, and I'm just documenting my life and my thoughts. So, what does that quote mean? Choose the least you need and not the most you can afford. And, as we make more money, as we get more successful, we want to naturally upgrade our life, right? So, an easy example would be me. Once I get a promotion, I will get a bigger apartment for me and my kids. And that's exactly what I did. Now, was that really necessary? Was that really worth it? If I did not upgrade, I could have been saving between $500 to $700, and I could have been using that money to invest in other things or invest in more stocks or stuff like that. And it just did actually make me rethink all the things that I have bought and was those version necessary. So another example, right, is that I wanted to get a Apple Max because it looked nice. I wanted to try it out, and I already had an AirPods Pro, but the AirPods Pro was kind of dying, and so I wanted to upgrade. But then I remember this quote. I was like, wait a minute, do I really need an Apple Max? Like, is that necessary? Because Apple Max is like over $550. And the new AirPod Pro is $250, right? So it's like half the price. And I just remember that quote, and I was like, yeah, I don't need an Apple Max. Why the hell would I need that for? It's not necessary, right? I just need something that could block out time for a bit while I could work. That's pretty much it. I don't need nothing crazy fancy or anything like that. And so I bought the AirPods Pro 3, and that was way much more worth it. It already fit my need, right? I didn't have to spend another $250 on an Apple Max. Instead, I used that money to buy new courses or buy another book or just buy something better, right? And so I just started to extrapolate this model, this thought process to other things and other aspects of my life. And so I started buying other things that were a cheaper version, a lesser version, I guess you could say. So for example, another one would be my car. My car is dying. My car is, I don't know when. I think it only has like a year left because it even died recently because of the battery. And for whatever reason, it's just taking up a lot of it's draining the battery much faster than ever before. And I don't know if it's because of the old age or because it's a 2011 Camry with over 200,000 miles on it. And so it is definitely breaking down more often than I like it to. Right now, the question is, should I buy a new car? Right, because if I buy a new car, I'm gonna have to pay for a loan, and I will have to pay for a loan for over 5 years, right? If I plan to finance it, right? If anything, I would probably buy it cash straight up. But why would I do that, right? I would be spending thousands of dollars on a new car with new features such as a touchscreen camera and a backup camera and just fancy gadgets and new technology, right? Do I really need that? I'm not even a car person. Like, do I really need that? And the question is no. All I need my car to do is just take me from point A to point B. That's it. I don't need anything else. I don't really care for fancy gadgets. I do like the backup screen, and that's pretty much it. Like, that's all I really need. So if anything, when I think about the quote, it actually made me want to buy another 2011 Camry, right? Because actually, I love my car. And the only reason why it's breaking down is because it's been through flood and it's been through crazy weather. But aside from that, my car is still alive and kicking. Now it's just is at the end of the lifespan, that's for sure. So when I think about the quote, choose the least I need, not the most I could afford. Like, I don't really need that much more. I really don't, right? And so if I get another car, it would just be a regular, standard, very cheap car because I don't need nothing fancy, right? I'm trying to basically not upgrade more than I need to. Okay. One thing I do regret is the phone that actually I'm using right now to record this. I had a iPhone 13 mini, and because I want to create more content and look better in front of the camera, I just don't think that was necessary. I'm just creating regular talking head videos. It's too late to return my phone now. But like the phone, it costs, I think, over $1,000. And I was like, man, was that really necessary? Because I could have just used my iPhone 13 mini and the camera there was already good, right? So I use that as a reminder. It's like, look, you wasted money on the iPhone 13 or iPhone 17. You didn't need the iPhone 17 to record good looking videos, especially as a talking head video of me just talking to the camera. you wasted money, right? You could have used that money for something else, such as investing or courses. Because like this year, I've been really more invested in myself in terms of courses, mentors, stuff like that. So the more money I could get for those type of things, the better, right? But then I used it for the iPhone 13, iPhone 17, and but luckily I'm using it a lot. Luckily, I am putting the iPhone 17 to good use. It's more of that I didn't. It was not necessary. I did not need to do that, right? Because the iPhone 13 mini was more than enough to take good quality videos for talking head type of content and just post it that way. So I'm really trying to ingrain that model into my head because I have been making a lot more money this past few months thanks to my contract role, and I really want to make sure that I'm not upgrading because of me making more money. I'm not trying to pay for more stuff. I'm not trying to subscribe to more stuff. I'm not saying another mistake. It's not a mistake, but I am still glad I did this. But I did donate a lot more money to my family during Christmas, right? Because it was such a great year. I was making more money. I got bonuses and stuff like that, and I just decided to give a lot of money to my family. So like something like that, I don't mind doing because I like giving to my family. But I just gotta be careful of not spending it or not being too lazy with it, not being too free or just I gotta be careful more with my money again, right? I gotta get into that mindset again because I have two little girls. I gotta make sure that I always have money to take care of them, right? So I already have like a 6 month expense saved up. I have all the surplus in a investment account and more. And I just that lifestyle to me suits me really well. And so it also teaches me to just live less on things, right? I don't need a lot of things to be happy. I don't need a lot of things to live on, right? I don't need to buy all these things to show off or just be happy. I just don't need to, right? So this model or this way of thinking, this behavior actually teaches me to learn to be happy with what I have, to be content with what I already have. And I think that's a really good thing, especially in America, because America we're so mirror to we're so into things and we keep buying new things and each year is a new iPhone upgrade and this and that. Like I even upgraded my MacBook, but that was years ago. But like I even that was not necessary. So like I started to when I read that quote in the book, I just started to think all these past things that man, this was not necessary. I did not need to do this. I did not need to pay for this and that, right? And so this year I've already started to say a lot no more often to just people and to things and to my kids more often because I love buying my little kids stuff. To the point where I would have to donate things every single 2 weeks or a month. I just keep buying them stuff, right? Because I love my kids so much. But I am telling them no more often, and I'm just teaching them that we do not need a lot of things to be happy. We do just not need a lot of things. And so that's why I love this quote so much. I even printed it out. When I first read that quote, I printed it out and I hanged it up across my monitor to remind myself, like, if I get these buying urges, because, once we get bored or something, or once we are just on our phone, sometimes we shop around a lot. And I always remind myself of that quote. It's like, oh, look, I don't need anything else. What am I shopping for? Let me delete this app. So I did delete a lot of my apps that were all about shopping. So I did that. And it's been, what's the word? Freeing, right? Because it's a really good feeling when you teach yourself that you don't need these things. You don't need to upgrade. Like you're content with what you have, right? And that's the thing that you have to battle though, right? Because everyone around you, every person, every social media, every YouTube, like you see all these new gadgets, you see all these new people upgrading, you see all these new people have this new technology and new cool stuff, and the camera looks much better in 4K and 8K, and the video games graphic looks much better, and there's like the Nintendo Switch 2 now, and finally they're making better looking games and stuff like that. Like there's always a battle of the outside world and culture to upgrade, and it's hard to do because you have to battle those urges. And when you have money and you could afford these things, it makes it very hard to discipline and not buy these things. Now, it's not to say that you should not spend these things. Like I say, it's just choosing the least you need. Like you don't need all the fancy stuff to get the job done, right? And I think another excuse I was making, especially for the content like right now, is that I would not post unless the camera looks really good, right? So, which is one reason why I upgraded to the iPhone 17 because of the camera. But that's not necessary, right? I did not need to have a a perfect 4K picture for me to post on YouTube. That was just unnecessary. And I think also I'm teaching my kids to learn how to be okay with what they have, because like I said, I've been buying them toys all the time, and I'm trying to stay off of it. I still do it every now and then, but I'm trying to do it more or less. And I'm trying to teach them, like, you don't need more toys. You don't need X, Y, and Z. You don't need this at the store. And luckily, they don't really fight me over candy anymore or anything like that. But they definitely like toys, and that's something that I've been telling them no more often, right? So I think, yeah, this is a great model. Once again, it is choose the least you need, not the most you can afford, right? So we don't need the highest version or the premium tier of everything here. We just need the least to get the job done and be okay with it, right? So thank you so much for watching. That is my spiel of that cool quote. I really love it. I highly recommend printing it out. I just think it's a great quote, man. Especially as a single dad. Like, obviously, we want to keep every single dollar in our pocket as much as possible. And yeah, we just don't need to be spending out that much. It's just not necessary, right? Be happy with what we have. And also, just another quick thing is that the less you have, the more creative it kind of forces you to be, right? So I don't have all these crazy gadgets around me, and so it makes me more creative on trying to make a fun or better content, right? So yeah, my name is Tony Chan. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more videos of me documenting my life, check out the end screen video right here.